What do I always say? Ready as I'll ever be.
It looks like we're in a UFO. Told you we would show everybody what the aliens are. Here they are.
Why are you the focus?
I'm not.
No, you just want to show off.
Show off with what?
Climbing?
I just hopped up a wall.
Hopped. If I tried to do that, it'd be highly entertaining.
It would be, yeah.
Shut up.
It definitely would be.
Pick your side.
Just stand and walk around and do whatever. So anyways, we're down here.
All right, we're doing this. This is Night Talks.
She hasn't killed me yet today, but I think she's probably going to... so this is the last time y'all see me.
There might be lighter fluid in this hot water.
What?
Nothing.
Straight vodka.
Okay, you're drinking vodka. I'm drinking lighter fluid. So then kill you.
Hold on, I got to talk about my family.
Okay.
So over the weekend, 4th of July weekend, you know, the Golden Girls were down at the farm, and
Your microphone is so whack.
and my one great aunt, she's an interesting one, which I won't bring up Johnny Bench. But anyways, she's a firecracker. So my freaking cousin, him and all of his wisdom, decided to hand her a bunch of moonshine. But like he didn't like say like, oh yeah, here's a shot of it, you know. He just like she was like, here, pour some in here. So he started pouring some in. And I was like, dude, she's already drunk. How about we go just a little bit, you know? And she pours in a bunch of like seltzer water, I guess, or just sparkling water. I went, dude, you are going to be so trashed. She's like, and she like went to take a little sip of this stuff, dude. She went, oh my god, and I was like, you're.
Told you.
So I left, and of course I got to hear the onslaught of what happened after I left.
Yeah. I just have a question. Why did you pin your mic like that versus like pinching your shirt? Because it looks like you're having small mic problems.
I don't know I don't know.
Like, you can't put it like down here and just like pinch your shirt a little bit?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I'm having
You're having
small
small
mic day, okay? Jeez.
It looks hilarious. Because it looks like if you move in the slightest bit, you're gonna like hit it.
No. But yeah, so we're up at the VU.
I mean, I allowed him to say it because I say it wrong every single time.
And why don't we ever have shows here anymore?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I mean, there's really no reason why they don't. I mean, this would be awesome to play on.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why we don't do these things. I mean, maybe take the poles out.
Maybe
Or maybe fix the lights, I guess. But like, you know, you can like...
get rid of the smell.
God, it does smell like piss down here, doesn't it? Jeez.
Or wet grass.
No, that's... No. That's piss.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Speaking of urinating in public, so we've been seeing a lot about like Cincinnati and the crime and the violence and the stuff that happens down at the banks, right?
Yep.
And we got some bad news for you. So like, I get, you know, complaining about things, rather politically or with your city, the roads, traffic, the whatever.
A lack of snow plowing.
You can complain all you want. But if you actually don't do something about any of these things, or try to, then you won't understand the hypocrisy you're living under. Like, you won't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I said this on here. I said, if you really want to see how unfree you are, try to get involved with your just local city government.
Mm-hmm.
And the popularity contest that goes on. Because actual intelligent people, like if somebody asks an intelligent human being, hey, would you like to be the president of the United States? Guess what their answer would be?
No.
Absolutely fucking not. That's exactly what their answer would be. Because no logically thinking human being would ever want that position.
Nope.
Like, ever.
Mm-mm.
There's too much headache.
That's why it's nice. It's a businessman in office right now.
Are you trying to lead me into another topic?
No. Stay on the topic that you want.
Well, let me touch on that. Guys, in case you all haven't, and I am not, just because I drive a Tesla, doesn't mean that I'm like, Elon Musk is the king, you know?
No.
He's just a human that puts his pants on the same way I do every single day.
Correct.
So, like, I don't really care. But if it took him saying that we live under a uniparty, will you please open your eyes? Will you please wake the fuck up?
Yep.
Please? Like, guys, like how have you not realized these things? Why do you always need the government to hold your hand? Why? It may not be with money.
And the scariest thing you'll hear is the government saying, I am here to help.
It may not be with money. It could be against your own mind.
Mm-hmm.
If to the people who listen to this, who actually listen to listen, and not like hate on us to just respond like a dickhead. People who actually listen and value what we say on here.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, there is one person who is starting to pick up on our relationship.
Are they?
Yeah. See, he's going to know what I'm talking about. He's going to say, oh my God, I do get it. And everybody else is just going to question and wonder. And we'll leave them wonder. But,
I guess I'm going to question and wonder also, because I don't know where you're talking about or what you're talking about. We're not on the same wavelength at the moment.
Once again, at the end of this video, she's going to walk off and go, fuck! That's exactly what she's going to do.
Okay, continue. Continue and tell me off camera if it doesn't click.
Message that happened the other day. Anyways, so if you need the government to hold your hand, just know that you're falling under their agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to put this in a way that's not going to get me in trouble.
Gets us in trouble. It gets us in trouble.
That's true too. The world sucks anyways. Fuck it. Guys, wake up. Wake up. And I promise your life will get better.
There's a whole song about that.
This whole generation clearly never listened to Rage Against the Machine.
Nope.
Clearly.
Nope. See, she agrees. She
Oh
knows.
yeah, she's pissed about it. I hear her. I hear you, girl. Nope, see, didn't hear it. Anyways, back to what we were talking about.
Back on track.
For the people who actually enjoy this podcast, we appreciate it because you're actually seeing that we're just talking like real people. Mm-hmm. See, the thing about it is when you watch the media, even if it's like big YouTube accounts, even if it's like whatever, everybody kind of, if you think about it, kind of has their own little niche where they kind of talk the same way and they talk about the same things and won't say the same things.
No, because then we'd be just talking in a roundabout circle.
Right. This is just two real human beings having a conversation where I just kind of blabber a lot. And she just sits there and looks at me like I'm a nut job. And
I do not.
this is what she says while she's wearing sunglasses. And
Because a lot of what you say is very profound and deep. And yes, I am a deep and intellectual thinker, but sometimes your level of intelligence is higher. So it takes me a minute to process.
I know. I do know this. If I just know that if I ever look at you and I say something and you look at me like, what? And I go, am I fucking speaking English? Just know that I have reached a level with you that I am not happy. Like, this happens to me more than I can even account for, where I look and say something to somebody and I'm just like, are you even, hello? And this happens a lot for me. So it's like, okay.
But you have to remember you got to give people time.
I know, I hate it.
Too bad. That's what I'm teaching you is more patience.
I don't need more patience.
You do when you're speaking on an intellectual level.
No, I'd rather just let it flow.
That's fine if you want to let it flow, but you can't get mad when people don't respond right away.
True.
That is where the patience comes in, my dear.
I am the most patient man you will ever meet. Trust me, I know from my experiences in life and being patient with other people.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
But we were talking about Cincinnati, and we've been seeing a lot of that. And it's not like we don't disagree with any of it. We're also very irritated that the things happen in Cincinnati that do happen.
Mm-hmm.
We're also very irritated about certain things of how the city is ran. I will say this. It's not a surprise to me.
No, it's not.
And you're all not going to like what I'm about to say because you're going to jump on a political fucking, oh, here he goes. When I lived in Nashville, and the bomb went off on Christmas Day, when I got back to work, I literally told all of them at the bar, I said, hey, this city's getting ready to change. You all might want to get ready and think of an exit strategy. And they all looked at me like I was nuts. The reason why I said it is because the political structure of Nashville changed completely and it was all democratically ran. Before you jump down my throat and say that we're on a political rant, I am a former registered Democrat. So don't come at me. Imagine how painful it is for me to watch something that I used to tie to my name go down the drain.
Sucks, doesn't it?
It does. Not because I give a shit about the Democratic Party, but because it is attached to me for years. So I don't like it. But since I am a former registered Democrat, that means that I have a leg to stand on to talk about it. Because guess what? I saw it. And so did a few other podcasts that are from Nashville. They said it. They said after that bomb went off, things were different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just me saying this.
No.
Now let's go back to Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a democratically ran city.
Mm-hmm.
And it is poorly ran.
Yes, it is.
Yes, the city is beautiful. Yes, it is, I think, a safe city. Yes, it is wonderful in this area. But you can't go off of that and say you're a great city.
Nope.
Remember, I love this city, so don't get mad at me.
Correct. You and I have stories.
The thing about it is, this city lacks in the most extreme areas where it should not be allowed to lack. For instance, We have witnessed firsthand how great the Cincinnati police are in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
But when you needed them the most, they are never around. Even when their vehicles are parked right by the banks.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own qualms with the police, but that's in the entire country, not just Cincinnati, and how all that is ran. And it's not nice, so I won't say it. But this is where we live, so it is important. Now, I value my relationship with the police in the town I live in and the place I live in, and I have personally responded to emergency situations recently that I felt absolutely horrible for those police. Horrible for them. And, you know, that's part of it. But there was one night we were down in the banks. We were walking back to our car and we heard this weird noise and we were like, what in the world was that? Somebody, I guess, got pissed drunk down at the banks, hopped in their car, drove down the road, squealing their tires, went around the turn, came over, went over the fucking thing down there in front of the suspension bridge, hit something, because we heard that, and we were like, what was that?
It was a guy who's playing Grand Theft Auto in real life. He wasn't drunk.
Oh yeah, this was straight Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
So like
he just before he gets to the roundabout where the Brent Spence, or not the Brent Spence, where the Roebling is at, he hit the curb.
Yeah, he hit the curb, bounced over the thing, goes, wrecks the car up against the curb, down where the parking lot is, right in front of the car and the thing. And then proceeded to go down into the parking lot and start beating car windows in.
Like we hear the crash and then he starts we hear banging on cars.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to steal another one.
I don't think he was trying to steal one. I think he was just being an asshole.
No, I think he was trying to steal one because if I remember correctly, the car that he stole was somebody's because they already knew what was going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, in that process, we've talked about this on the podcast before. I looked at you and said, call 911 and go stand right over here.
Mm-hmm.
Because that guy was down in the parking lot. And I was like, well, and we were trying to get hold of the police. We were talking to a guy, blah, blah. I think at that point, 4 people were calling the police. Somebody even went and ran up to the banks to their office.
Mm-hmm.
And none of us could get a hold of them.
Correct.
We couldn't get a hold of the 911 dispatcher.
Nope.
We couldn't get a hold of the police at their facility on the banks.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't find one. Couldn't do anything. And it's not like it wasn't a lively night down there.
No.
It was very lively.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that damn sure that if you're just minding your own business doing nothing, they'll probably stop you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not trying to downplay the police and you know, whatever or anything like that. We do need police in our world because I'm sorry, but a lot of people are just a bunch of fucking idiots.
Especially during tailgate season.
I think they pull that off fairly well.
Yes, they do.
I will say this to the Cincinnati police. The fact that you all haven't gotten a hold of me about the tailgating around there just shows me how much you don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. The only thing you do is just direct traffic. And that's another conversation for another day.
Mm-hmm.
And the point is that you're talking about safety. How many times have we woken up and heard about gunshots down at the banks?
There's been plenty of times you and I have been down there, and then a couple hours later, there was a shooting.
Right. Like at this point, you can't say as a police officer that you're doing a good job. There is no reason that down there at the banks, you don't have that much control of that area.
Correct.
What I think the Cincinnati police need to do is go down to Nashville for a weekend and go figure out what being a cop down there is like.
Yeah.
And dealing with that type of crowd and
yeah.
that type of environment. Maybe then they'll realize how lucky they are that they just have the banks.
Mm-hmm.
But you wonder why these things happen. And if you just go right on back to where the police salary comes from,
Yep.
maybe then you'll have an understanding, because all you have to do is just follow the money.
Yep.
Or the lack thereof.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Because
I just heard some stories about the prison system yesterday, so yeah.
Fun fact, I used to work over at the Boone County prison with the inmates, and I would go get lunch over there.
Yeah.
If my life ever goes to shit, I'm purposely doing something just so I could go to jail, just so I don't have to worry about anything, because they live in luxury compared to what I'm living in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Luxury compared to me.
Oh, I know.
I think they got life figured out, to be honest.
Yes and no.
No. But when you have that type of structure of people who won a popularity contest, what do you expect?
Yeah.
There are people that are intelligent in this world, but instead of appreciating and utilizing their talent and knowledge and wisdom, you put somebody in place based off of what they say.
Yep.
Not off of what they do, not off their intelligence level, not off their life experience.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but homie needs some money, bruh. And if that's not you either, wouldn't you want somebody like you running the city instead of some person that just makes a humongous salary and is just flaunting on a TV? Dude, there are people in this city that do more for the city of Cincinnati than the own political structure of Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
But you wonder why the city is the way it is.
Yep.
It's not rocket science, and I hate to tell you, but rocket science is actually really easy.
Yeah, that's true. It's physics that's hard.
No, force equals MA. Up. That's it. That's all it is.
You lost me at equals.
F, force, equals M, mass times
You
acceleration.
lost me.
Force is
Stop
Okay.
trying to explain physics.
gravity. Yeah.
That is not the side of my brain that functions best.
That's a simplistic version of rocket science.
Okay.
Anyways, it's not brain surgery, because that is hard. But
Yes.
this is why I don't know why you all just get so stuck on the political nonsense. Because if you look at life in a logical way and think, who would I rather be running something? Wouldn't I want somebody intelligent?
Yep. Somebody with character.
You also have, you also have to have perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, glad we're talking about this. I'm going to pull out a message I sent the other day. But if you don't have these things, you're not going to get it.
You're correct.
So somebody sent me something talking about the banks the other day and how we need to revitalize that area and do things to bring down, whatever. And this is why I was talking about the police down there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm getting eaten up by mosquitoes.
Ha! You know how I feel.
They were talking about like it's like disappointingly mediocre down there. Which, yes, to me it is. Sorry, the Banks to me is just a mediocre little bar area, which is fantastic for games and fantastic for tailgating and fantastic for all that.
But you've lived in the chaos of Nashville.
Right, but I've also lived in the blessings of Nashville,
Correct.
of the things that you can experience in that kind of environment.
Correct.
So I agree to a slight extent. So I said, Jefferson Social has the best barbecue wings in Cincinnati. Bar none. I never order barbecue wings unless I go there.
That's true.
They have homemade barbecue sauce that is fantastic. I would literally drink it. Yard House is exceptional with service, beer, and food. How many times have we been at Yard House and we get done eating and I look at like Ian or Dalton and I'm like, dude, you all have some great food here.
And the fact that the person who is a manager of that location is also a chef.
Yeah.
That shows character.
Yes. The Folson's food is spectacular.
Filson?
Oh, Filson, sorry. I said Folson's on here. Filson's food is spectacular. And the building is amazing. That building is rather, if you go into that building and look at the bar, it's very well done. Mm-hmm. It's a nice open area. It looks very nice in there. And this sitting area outside is great.
Right.
It has a great view.
The artwork is amazing.
Yes. They have some really funny, cool pictures up on the wall that if you all go in there and look up and see them, you just laugh because some of them are great.
Yeah.
Shit needs to be updated for sure. But some of the people running all that down there, as in Cincinnati, and the Banks, don't care. It's about making money. Mm-hmm. Tin Roof as a company has a great CEO who actually cares about his bar locations and his employees. I know that because I know Bob personally.
That's why it's been able to stick around down there, whereas others have quick turnover.
Yep. Their food is what they provide at all locations, so that won't change. And not only that, it's a bar. And for a bar, they set the bar high for a bar. Their food is bar level, but it's spectacular bar level.
Did you say which bar?
Tin Roof.
Okay.
They also provide somewhere for people to hear live music. Mm-hmm. And I hate to say this, but it's not watered down bullshit on Broadway. I love the Tin Roof on Broadway. I'm talking about in general, because all those musicians play the same damn thing over and over and over again, and the monotony eventually just turns into just, here we go, Shania Twain again. Let's go, girls. But they provide somewhere for young adults to socialize and listen to music. They all have their own little niches.
Yeah.
Holy Grail. Is a sports bar, so the food is at that level. Same with their service. And they do a spectacular job of those things. It is a high volume sports bar. Mm-hmm. Of course, their food is going to be a high volume sports bar level.
Correct.
But for what they do, it's pretty damn good.
Because I disagree with you. I think the Holy Grail's wings are better than Jefferson Social.
Bullshit!
Nope.
You didn't hear that, Jim. She didn't mean it. They do have good wings. I'm not gonna put them down. Their buffalo wings are fantastic.
Yes.
Jefferson Socialist Buffalo is okay. The owner of the Holy Grail gives a shit about Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
So for what it is right what it needs to be. How many games have we ever watched at Holy Grail? Tons. I have met, hold on. Shout out to Rashad Genty. The first game of the season 2 years ago, 3 years ago? 2 years ago, the Bengals were playing the Ravens at home. I didn't have a ticket, so of course I'm fucking depressed, and I'm like, all right, you have fun in the fucking game. And I went up to the Holy Grail, kind of pissed because I can't go to the game. Go up to the bar, all on my lonesome, pull up a chair. Next thing I know, here comes this big dude, and he comes sits down right next to me. Me and him start talking. We're watching the game. While I'm watching the game, I'm calling stuff out, saying what to do, and they were doing it and stuff like that. And he looks at me and he's like, man, you know ball. And I went, yeah, I know. So we're sitting there talking, bullshitting, whatever, and it gets to about the third quarter. And he starts saying something. He's like, man, I used to play ball. And I was like, he's like, yeah, I used to play ball. And I went, oh, who'd you play for? Like, did you play in college? Did you play whatever? And he goes, well, yeah, I played in college, but I played ball. I was like, where? And he's like, here. I was like, it's Cincinnati? Like UC? He goes, no, I played for the Bengals. And I went, you did? And he's like, do you remember this? And I was like, he showed me a picture of him. I went, oh my God, I know exactly who you are. Yeah. And he goes, wait a minute, you've been talking to me this way this whole time and didn't even know who I was? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've gone to multiple games together.
Yeah.
Great individual. All because I went to Holy Grail.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can beat that.
Nope.
So I said, I'm down with wanting better, but you have to have perspective. Making that perspective exceptional is the mission, not wanting something to be top-notch that will outprice the area and make the crowd that goes there go away, and then it will be left with nothing.
Yep.
This is why I keep saying, I wish the city would get us involved.
Yep.
Do I hang out at the banks?
No.
No.
Do we drink all the time?
No.
No.
I don't like going to the banks because it reminds me of Nashville, and I literally can't stand Nashville anymore, so I'm literally like, I'm good. You all have your fun.
I don't drink, so I don't see a purpose on being down there. I'll go down every now and then, and people watch. That'll be fine.
We get food down there.
We get food down there, yes. We'll film down there every now and then.
Yeah. But we don't hang out down there. And it's not putting it down. It's just it's not what...
It's not our style.
But if I was back in my 20s...
Oh, hell yeah.
I'd be going there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just make something immaculate without realizing the demographic of the people who go there.
Correct. I had a couple birthdays in my 20s down there.
Oh, I've had some wild nights down there.
Yeah?
In my 30s.
Yes, you have.
Oh, yes, I have.
I think one of my favorite nights of you and I together was down there at the banks.
We've had some good times down there.
We have.
I just don't remember them all. But anyways.
I do because I took notes.
Oh, great. So, I also, dude, after we won the AFC Championship, I met one of my good friends down there.
Yeah.
And she showed up. And I had some baked goods. And I went, here we go, we're partying. And she was like, okay. Yeah, all right. I was like, we are partying. The Bengals are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And guess what bar we were at? Holy Grail.
Yep.
But here's the thing about the banks. A lot of those people at times will walk up into the city.
Yep.
They'll go back to the Flying Pig. They'll go back to O'Malley's and Alley.
Take a step further, they'll go up to Fountain Square.
Fountain Square. This is why police presence is very important. You have people on foot walking the city at night.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it sounds like a no-brainer, but I guess it's hard for people to realize. And if you don't like what I'm saying, that's fine. Just know that I would say that you don't consider your personal safety wherever you go, and you are just walking blindly through this world.
Yep.
I think Cincinnati is safe. That does not mean that I am just blindly walking around the city acting like everything's great and fancy.
No. Because even when Lexi and I were filming, yeah, it's a safe area. But you were around if needed.
Yeah. Oh,
And
if you all go back,
that is why Lexi said that.
if you all go back and watch that film, watch the film,
Watch that episode.
watch the episode, you might see a
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot in the background. Maybe. But that is talking about the banks, it's talking about the bars, it's talking about Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like what Cincinnati's doing, you are also blind. You can't say that a city that doesn't give a shit about our roads is a legitimate city.
The thing is, the city has also failed its business owners.
Yes. The fact that you can go north on 75 or south on 75 and it goes down to a 2-lane little section is utterly disgusting.
I will take 275 just to avoid that fucking traffic to meet up with you.
It is disgusting. I'm going to go hard. When the 2 trucks wrecked on the bridge and the fucking thing was closed down and you literally removed an entire section of it, that is when you replace the bridge. Not years later when you're trying to figure out a Band-Aid, which now we are completely and totally fucked in this area because somebody decided, oh, we're just going to put a Band-Aid on it and let this other guy down the road take care of it because we'll just be out of office by then and we'll make all of our fucking money and we'll be gone. If you don't view this world that way, just know that
You're part of the agenda.
And the fact that the city doesn't get us involved with that whole entire project of getting that done really irritates me because...
Yeah. I agree.
I've been saying this for months. Since we've been doing this podcast, I've been saying this. You have got to be fucking kidding me. That is a tragedy. It opened the day JFK was assassinated, and we think that it can handle what's going on in 2025. It was already built behind the amount of cars going over it the day it opened. And you want to drive across that bridge all the time.
Mm-hmm.
This should enrage you. This is, some of you, this is how you get to work. Imagine that bridge was not there for a minute.
Then you're just putting more weight on the 2 other bridges that are accessible by car in this city. And one of those ain't doing so great either.
No, it's not. Oh, I might just completely dismantle the entire area of Cincinnati, but I'm not going to do it.
Because I think people forget that the Purple People Bridge used to have cars on it too.
Mm-hmm.
And now it is just a pedestrian bridge. For a reason.
Yeah. The suspension bridge is old.
Yeah, that is. It's older than the Brooklyn Bridge.
Mm-hmm. That's what they designed it off of.
Exactly.
And I love that bridge.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to finish my next sentence. But I will say this. In case you all need proof, I'm sure someone will hear this and they will know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
If you have ever walked across that bridge after a big event like Taylor Swift, like a Bengals game, like a Reds game, and there's a lot of people walking, that bridge sways an awful lot.
It does.
Which for people who don't know physics, it makes perfect sense. Do you really think you need a lot of cars to bring down a bridge?
No.
No. All you need are a lot of people walking.
Mm-hmm.
Because that sends oscillations through the beams that are perfect to make it start doing this. There are literal bridges that have fallen from this. So if you've ever walked across that bridge after a big ass event, you have probably felt that bridge start swaying.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think the bridge in San Francisco was built the way that it was?
Mm-hmm.
For funsies.
For funsies.
No.
Oh.
Fucking earthquakes happen there.
Yeah. And if you've ever seen that bridge, it is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But it was built after the suspension bridge was.
Correct.
The Roebling, sorry.
You're right.
I'm a real Cincinnatian. But that whole situation has put this area in such a bind that I don't think you all realize it. Like,
Yep.
Boys?
Because God forbid there be an accident before you get to that bridge or after you get to that bridge. You fuck up the entire interstate, leading all the way back to 275 on both ends. Yeah, there you go. You were like...
Yeah. I mean...
There's been times it has taken me 2 hours just to get over to meet you in the Florence area.
It's taken me 3 hours to get home from work before.
Well, yeah.
And let me tell you what happens when that happens. Eventually, if you keep doing that to people, they're going to start losing it.
Oh.
Even if they want to or not.
Yeah.
Like, it's just raw human nature.
Mm-hmm. There's been plenty of times I've been enraged in traffic and I've had to be like, yo, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, then something's probably going to happen.
Yeah. Like, how you can consider yourself to be a great city, but have that is voiding all of your reasons to be a great city.
Yep.
And I'm not saying this hating on the city. I'm saying
No.
this because I love this city and I want it to be better.
We're holding the city accountable.
I know, and people don't like accountability in 2025.
I mean, even just the what? How many months the Big Mac was closed? How that literally messed with everybody's traffic? And that was only closed for 3 or 4 months? Something like that?
Should I go hard?
Let loose.
Until the city does something, I want you to remember this about the city. They think you all are morons. Because
You guys are in for a physics lesson.
If you look at the material properties of any of the things that burned up in that fire, aka a child's playground, some rubber chips that were on the playground, some wood, and whatever the hell else, the other whatever. If you look at the material properties of the flashpoints of those materials, guess what? None of that adds up to around 2600 degree, whatever the hell it is that 2.5 inch steel beams would melt at. Therefore, you're saying that a fire made of sticks and stones literally melted steel beams. Until the city has a remarkable answer to how a bunch of meth addicts who were just sitting down there and happened to get busted could have possibly have made a fire that was that hot, just know that the city thinks you're a bunch of morons.
It's not just because he likes to set fires.
I actually, never mind. No. Sorry, that's just physics.
Mm-hmm.
That's just material property. It doesn't take somebody that is as educated as me in order to know that.
Correct.
That was also just swept under the rug. When you ask anybody, even if you go down to Lexington, Louisville, Detroit, you go to any of these places, you ask people, hey, did you hear about this? No. Don't forget, we are in the United States of America, and there is a bigger area than Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't know about what happened here.
Yep.
Is that an owl or a hawk? That is a big hawk.
The hawk.
Look at that thing.
I know.
That's a massive hawk too over there.
Okay.
Wonder what she's up to.
Not being on the internet.
I know. I don't blame her.
People tried to cancel her for no reason.
That's because she's a decent human being.
Correct.
Funny how that works. But these are just things about Cincinnati that I guess people don't want to admit to themselves because they just can't get out from under. Oh my God, the Bengals, the Reds. The city's so beautiful. Yes, it is. And yes, I do love the Reds. And yes, I do love the Bengals. And yes, I do love FCC. And yes, I do love the Cyclones. And I love UC. And I love NKU. I love Mount Adams. And I love Newport. I love Covington. And I love Cincinnati.
The tri-state.
The whole tri-state area. And since I love all those places, guess what? I care tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean I'm going to overlook the bad things.
No.
Because that is currently what our city officials are doing.
Yup.
How's it working out for all the people who call this great area home?
Exactly.
How's it working out?
Like I said, the city of Cincinnati has failed business owners and its people.
Yeah. Newsflash, it has snowed and iced here before.
Yeah, it has.
It has done it before.
Yeah.
It's also been 98 degrees here before.
Mm-hmm.
That's not new.
Nope.
The fact that this past winter, what happened with this wintertime, was a complete and total failure. Failure.
It is by the grace of God that my sister and I made it successfully and safely to the surgery center. And back home afterwards.
It is.
Because even the surgeon was like, I might not make it in. If that's the case, we'll have to postpone her surgery. And thank God the anesthesiologist was like, no, your patient's here. I will come get you in my truck if I have to. You're not making her cancel her surgery.
Literal life example. I was snowed in where I shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
All because I cared about another human being.
Mm-hmm.
And that was south of here. And it snowed and iced more down there in the country.
Yep.
And they still took care of the roads and the interstate better. When I hit Florence, I was like, holy crap, they didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, there is a massive salt pile literally in downtown.
Yep.
You all know where it is. You see
You
it.
drive by it.
You drive by it. It's been there for years.
And it's full.
And we have a ton of news stations in the area that were saying, hey, there's this big line, this big line of snow going across the continental U.S. It might snow. Like, you know, like.
It's a great interpretation.
Yeah, that's what it was. You remember?
Yes,
remember?
I
You know,
do.
it went from California down, came back up.
Yes,
but
I
then
remember.
it like went and just went across the city. I mean, hold on, back up a little bit. Cross the. Oh, hold on. I mean, it went down
I'm going to
and
smack
just
you.
fucked us. Left a bunch of white shit everywhere. Fucking ridiculous.
Inappropriate. We're a family-friendly podcast.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Talking about the white stuff that fell down all over us.
Yeah, I know.
What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
You're trying to gaslight me. Continue.
I guess you don't know what snow is. But they did nothing. They did nothing. And the business owners of Cincinnati suffered. The citizens around here suffered horrifically because, dude, we still had to go to work. We still had to go do our daily lives. We had to make sure our kids were fed. We had to make sure that we were fed. We had to make sure that all these things were going on while our city officials did nothing.
Mm-hmm. Why were we better prepared for precipitation that was in a liquid form versus a solid form is my question.
I don't know. I guess the news said, hey, the river might go up.
Right. God forbid a flood happens.
Like, that's never happened here before. Thank God it's never snowed. Thank God it's never rained. It's almost like there's a giant mural of the river one time when it was like really high. That must have been somebody making a bunch of shit up. That couldn't have happened.
Well, unfortunately, one of the landmarks to mark how high the river got one time is no longer there.
It's not?
They tore down Coney Island.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
They took that beautiful lake there and just turned it into a concrete nothing.
No, it's going to be a music center. Event center. Another music venue.
Great. I'm sure Belterra is just so excited down there.
Oh, yeah.
Are you all aware that there's a great horse track right on the east side of the city where you can go watch horse racing?
Mm-hmm.
Are you all aware of that? There's a casino there. There's a restaurant.
Pretty sure it was the first one in Ohio. It was. Down
You
here.
can walk right up to the rail when they're going by. And the paddock is right here, and you can just watch them walking. You can look at beautiful horses. Think about that. You can take your kids to a horse track and get that close to the horses.
Yep.
And let kids see a beautiful creature
Yep.
run really fast.
How fast?
Real fast.
How fast?
And you can also go down the Turfway.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know everybody liked the old Turfway. But they have great food. I wouldn't recommend their steak, though. They have great, not on a, they're not doing it anymore, so don't worry about it. But I would not recommend. Anyways, like, there are great things in this area.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't take care of the things that need to happen in this area, none of it's going to matter.
Correct.
Because all it takes is a little bit of time and your economy suffers. And then you have to rebuild a bridge where your economy is going to suffer even more.
Yeah, because how many businesses closed just because of the Big Mac being down for a little bit?
This is money coming to our area.
Mm-hmm. Big events are not going to be hosted in this area if we keep going down this path.
No. If I played music, I would literally be like, I do not want to play there.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Andrew Brady Center is fantastic. I'm talking about big events. The Andrew Brady Center is a fantastic venue to go to. I love that place.
Yeah.
The place is awesome. I've never been to a concert in Paycor, but I have been up on the VU while Taylor Swift is going on, and I went, damn, that looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on the other side while watching people perform in there. It looks cool.
You've seen people perform at Great American.
The Foo Fighters at Great American last year was spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Riverbend.
Yep.
I've had some of the greatest times of my life at Riverbend.
Same.
But if we don't take care of what we have, and we don't prosper and grow in the correct way, guess what? Those things are going to stop coming around. You can already see it because look at the lineup they had last year at Great American Ballpark. Look what they got this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's food for thought.
It's good food for thought.
Go ask Kentucky Speedway if it's possible that these things won't happen. When you make people walk miles and miles and miles, and people who drove for hours and hours and hours to go to a NASCAR race, and the traffic was so bad because all they did was put down gravel in the parking lot and call it good. What did NASCAR do? Kentucky spent millions of dollars and destroyed a ton of acreage that I used to hunt and fish on.
Yep.
To now have a standing still nothing. They won't even let me go out in there with my car and just whip around it, which I don't understand why.
Yeah, I can believe it because the last time I was there, they were hosting a Fun Run 5K walk.
Yep.
Because they were trying everything and anything just to get some type of revenue in there.
Yep. Now it just sits empty, and it's a shame.
It is.
Even if you don't like NASCAR, NASCAR is just fun to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just fun to see. It's also somewhere I saw my first ever pair of lady attachments.
Just say it.
Because a rainstorm happened and people were really drunk and we had a really good time, and I was maybe like 13 and it was awesome.
You saw tits.
Yeah. First ever. And some other things, but I won't disclose that out in the parking lot. But it was great. It was awesome. It was fun. It was great for just kids to go to. Mm-hmm. I have one of the greatest stories about Danica Patrick down in the pits of Kentucky Speedway that I have ever seen anyone do that is famous. Have I said that on here?
No.
So Danica Patrick gets out of her Indy car. She's walking out. She has all these tall reporters around her. She has her one friend with her that's walking next to her. She is like this tall. Her friend's like this tall. And then you got all these guys walking, right? I'm trying to interview her, like, oh, Danica, oh my God. And as I'm standing there watching her come off, there's this guy standing here with this little girl. She's like this tall. She has like Danica Patrick flags. She has a Danica Patrick shirt. Danica Patrick comes out of the car and she's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And she's freaking out. Danica just walks right past her because all these stupid fucking tall reporters and all these people, and I'm talking like 20 people around a single individual.
Correct.
And then her friend just kind of looks back and sees this little girl. And it's funny, when Danica Patrick walked by, she was like, oh my God, Danica, Danica. And she's like, put her flags down. Her friend looks back, sees her, taps Danica on the shoulder. Danica looks at her and goes, she's like, does this. Danica looks at her and goes, come on. And Danica took that little girl, and her dad followed, and they walked. Danica took off her jacket, signs it, put it on a little girl, walked all the way with her, signed every single thing she had, all the way down to her socks. Got in her hauler down at the end of it, and ignored everyone and just went in. Everyone called her a bitch after that because she ignored everybody and went in. Danica Patrick is one of the greatest women to ever live.
Yeah.
And if you don't think so, based off of that story, are you really a woman? Isn't that who you would want to look up to?
Yeah.
We won't go on the women rant.
No, we've already done that.
But things like that happen in Cincinnati, dude. But it's not gonna.
Correct.
If we don't do something.
Things don't change.
I know one of the biggest things, ow, that hurt. Oh. One of the biggest things that needs to change in Cincinnati is that Heritage Bank Arena. That is a cancer of our city. It needs to go. Just because I lived in Detroit isn't me being like, yay, Detroit. I just see what other cities have done that have made the city great. Someone needs to go up to Detroit and go look at the Little Caesars Arena that has Red Wings, it has Pistons. I saw the Foo Fighters play there, which was spectacular. They have massive concerts there. They have restaurants on the outside of it that you can go to at any point in time in the day. They have stores. They have all this stuff. Put it where the Heritage Bank Arena is, please. So people who work in Cincinnati on that side of the city can go over there and have something to eat for lunch. You can do business deals. You can network. Isn't that how you do business?
I think so.
Yeah. You got Davoo up here that has a golf course. And I don't know about you, but most business deals happen on a golf course. I make this, the price drops 50%. Pay up. Like, it happens.
Yes, it does.
But it won't if we keep going down this road. You can take a city, because, 15 years ago, you wouldn't catch me dead in Cincinnati. But not even 15, maybe 20 years ago, you wouldn't catch me dead in Cincinnati.
Correct.
But that city's just started to do this, and it went like this, and it went like this, and then it just did this. And now it's starting to come down. We need to stop the coming down, and we need to bring it back up to a higher plateau for us to enjoy the city.
Correct.
But getting there is going to suck. The longer we go down this road, the harder it's going to be to come out of it. So maybe instead of putting people in there based off a popularity contest, maybe you might want to put somebody intelligent in there. Did you see that when I did it?
Yeah, I did. Please stop.
Maybe you want to put somebody intelligent in there. They can think these things through.
Yeah.
Just maybe.
Just a thought.
And also, I don't know if any of you are looking for a job right now, but hey, if you go on Cincinnati's website and go to their careers and try to apply, it's not 1996 anymore. You should be able to just put your resume in. Well, you should be able to put your resume in, and based off of your resume, should give you a chance to get at least a phone call. And then somebody should do their fucking job and call someone. And then if you call them and say, hey, we think we would be great for this position, could you please do an interview? Absolutely. I will come in personally to do an interview. But for somebody that's intellectually there, as soon as they see a system like that, guess what they think? I don't want to work for a place that has this backwards of a system. Mm-hmm. That is a direct sight line of being like, how is working here going to be? Well, how is their hiring going? Mm-hmm. How is it to interview? How is it to even apply? If you are making it hard to apply, guess what you're doing? You're taking any amount of talent and they're just going to go over to where it's easy to apply.
Yep.
Like GE. Like Procter & Gamble. Because it's easy. Mm-hmm. That's where all your intelligence goes.
Yep.
No one goes to Cincinnati because guess what? It sucks to freaking apply. I would just go apply somewhere else that would probably pay me more money. Mm. And we wonder why this city is the way it is. And I mean, look at all the great things they've done in Newport, and look at all the great things they've done in Covington. Dude, Covington is immaculate compared to what it used to be.
Yeah.
At one point, Covington was immaculate compared to what it used to be back in the 60s. Most of that down there used to be a freaking car dump. Mm-hmm. Look at it now. Yes, the city has problems. Yes, there are bad things going on, but there is a lot of good. But a lot of good doesn't last if you don't take care of it. If you bought a damn Ferrari, but you didn't take care of it, you might as well have just went and bought a Honda Civic.
Yep.
Because you won't have the Ferrari for long. Trust me.
Nope.
A car like that, you got to take care of it.
Yes, you do.
Maybe instead of looking at Cincinnati like a Honda Civic, maybe look at it as a Ferrari. Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to be honest, this city is literally a Lambo.
Yes, it is.
But if you've never lived outside of this city, if you've never been to other cities and lived there, not visit, lived in other cities, you won't know this. Mm-hmm. You won't know this. But if you have lived in other cities and you've gone to like others like Detroit, Chicago, Milwaukee, Kansas City, Nashville, Memphis, Knoxville, Charlotte, you're going to see how great this city is if you've lived in any of those places.
You're correct.
A couple friends of mine came up over the weekend. Who I met in Nashville, who was from Nashville. They are an actual Nashville resident and from there. That's rare these days. But they moved to Charlotte because Nashville got so shitty that they were like, I'm out. And I was like, I understand. They've lived in Charlotte for a few years. They were up here visiting, and they were only here for a couple of days, and they were like, holy crap, this city is awesome. Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, and I want to, it's not just, dude, I love Lexington. Well, at least I did. But that city has its issues bad. And it's not even a big city. Mm-hmm. It's also democratically ran. And just to reemphasize, they are all in cahoots.
Yep.
But it's just like, dude, you can be blind and be like, oh, the city's great, the city's great, the city's great, the city's great. But because of your blindness, One day, this city's great is going to turn into, oh crap, the city's starting to go to shit.
Yes.
This is why we care so much about this city. This is why I keep sitting there being like, will someone just let me do something, please?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm getting ready to send the email for Paycor, just letting you know, Maggie. But like, even just trying to get involved with something that you should be involved in, you can't. Because of all the hypocrisy, political nonsense. I feel bad for people who actually try to do good things in this city. I feel bad for you all. I know how hard it is.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike most of everyone else that bitches and complains about it, I actually try to do something and it's proving to be fucking impossible. Right? I mean, have you seen anyone try to do as much as me in this city with no freaking reward?
No. The amount of effort that you put in is not matched by anybody.
No. I don't see none of you all doing this. I do see someone. Bengal Jim. Yes. I will say he does great things. But he does great things around the Bengals community. And he does great things for charity. Him, Tony, all those guys. Craig, they all do great things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to do great things over here, boys. I'm not putting you all down whatsoever because I think you all are fantastic the way you do everything that you do. If anything, you all are inspiring and motivational for me to be like, you know what, it can be done.
Correct.
But maybe I'm just aiming so damn high that I'm like, well, maybe it can't be